how to create or do data merge in InDesign. Now, for this data merge, maybe we want to create maybe we have a work that they said we should create master what we call business card, and you are creating a business card for multiple people and a number of people, and all of these you have to add their email, and also you have to add their contact info and things for, let's say, 100 people, and you cannot do this one by one. This is where data merge comes inside, and InDesign is a powerful tool that can also perform data merge. Here we want to look at how to perform data merge for the some players of Crystal Palace, which is my favorite team, and also look at the names, positions, and the nationality. Okay, so without much time wasted, in this lesson we are doing data merge and we adding images and some things. So let me show you how to prep your documents for the data merge. So in data merging, we use software which is Excel. Okay, so you can either use Excel or use WordPad or Notepad. Now, first is the name. So when you just come here, and then you can just click here and then double click, and you can type the name inside in Excel. Make sure that it is all small letters. When you come here to, you can type the position, and always notice that anytime that the position, you see that here to the position comes there, so you can just change it from here and it will change from here. This is where the formula comes in. Okay, so this place is for the formula, and now we have nationality. So always after doing that name, you see that you have their names over here. You can also decide to do it last name or first name, but we are not doing this in over here. When you want to do that in the future, you have to let me know, and I'll also let you know how to create it with last name and first name. But this we are doing only first name or the full name. So with last name, you just have to do it like this: last name, last, and then use underscore. Okay, name, and it will be last name. Okay, that's what you have to do. You don't have to leave spaces between them. I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. Okay, so now let's continue. So I've already created this and I've left it in your exercise files. But one thing that you have to notice importantly, the image. Now with the image, when you just type in, for the formula is at image. Okay, but when you type in at image, it Excel will recognize it as a formula. Okay, so therefore you see that the function isn't valid. Okay, so you have to add an apostrophe over here at before you bring in at image. So you make sure that you bring the apostrophe before you bring in at image. Okay, then there you are good to go. Now, so how you saved your image? Maybe you saved it in images folder, then you have to do it this way: /images/ and make sure that you name all accordingly. Name it according to the way you want them to be placed. So you name it the image profile 1 or image 1, 2, 3, like that. This is according to how you want to name it, but don't just name it anyhow, and make sure that you place all in the same folder, and also place it in the same folder where your InDesign file will also be. Please take note of these things. Also, notice how in Excel, the moment you just bring in images as profile 1, you can just do it this way: select it and then drag it downwards, and it will automatically give you profile 2, profile 3, profile 5, profile 6, up to where you will leave the Excel sheet to Okay, the selected sheet. I hope you understand. So just click on it and you just drag it downwards to where you want it to be. And also, when you are saving it for the InDesign, make sure that you come here to file. Please, if you don't understand anything, make sure you ask me the questions. Save as. Now where your InDesign document is, you save it over there. So let's see. So with the save as, I save it as, you have to save it as an test tab delimited. Okay, this one, or you save it as CSV comma delimited, CSV comma delimited, or test delimited. These two, one and this two. So I've already saved mine, and you can also save yours the same way. Now the problem that for me, for instance, I get is sometimes the InDesign may not find the directory path for my image. Okay, so what I do is I have to bring in a directory path. That's where after saving this, I come to my test. After saving this as a CSV or test file, I then come to my test editor, which is a notepad, and then at first it will be this way. It will come in the same way as I save this. Okay, to come in the same way as I save this, but then I have to make sure to copy the image what do we call the directory path of the images, and then place it in, and you can see that images / profile 1, images / profile 2, and there's the directory path. Okay, it is user food Africa and desktop. Okay, please, I'm sure you understand what I'm doing. And now what I also did that there has to be there hasn't, or you don't have to get spacing between them. So what I do is that I always use comma to separate them. So name, after saving it from SL as test name, and I'll use comma to separate it. It will be saved as this way. This is the way it will be saved as test, and you will find it in your test when you edit it in test. So you have to make some editings to it. So name, comma, position, comma, title, comma, age at image, comma, do it at image. Don't just write image, okay, because it is an image. And then now the names Vincente Guetta, the goalkeeper to will come here, and then comma, the nationality to come here, like that, and then slash C user the image. Please, I'm sure you understand what I am saying. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to get the directory path. So before that, let's go into our InDesign file, our InDesign. Now let's create a new document. You don't need any special document, just make it landscape or it's letter. Okay, then you don't need any margin because you don't going to know, you don't have any use for margin here. And then click on OK. Now come into your master page, which is the master over here. You only want one. You don't need facing pages. So come to properties, and then turn off facing pages. And now come into your pages, and then right click on the master. If yours is just not this way, just go ahead. Okay, but mine is this way, so I have to make sure that I only have one master pages for the pages. I don't need two, so let's wait a little bit. And the number of pages, I only want one, I don't want two. And then I'll click on OK. I'm good to go. Now let me pick my rectangular to draw a frame for the image. Now let me just hit it this way. Let me type in the sizes that I want. Okay, so I want this to be 1.17126 inches, and then I want this to be 2.0472 inches. Now hit OK. Now I want the stroke to be none. You can okay, let's add some stroke to it. Okay, 2 is okay. And now I want the fill. I'm going to my color swatch, and then so come to your swatches. I want to create a new color swatch. So CMYK, I want the sign to be 16. Now I want this to be 4. I want this to be 33. And then I need 0 over here. Now I'll hit OK. So it's good for me. Now with my test frame again, I'll just once again let me create a test frame instead of creating a shape, because a shape will distract it and stop it from getting a perfect data merge. So put it this way. Now let me come to my selection tool. Let me select it and let me control the width and the height. So I want the width to be 0.57. So the width should be 1.7057 inches, and I want the height to be 0.2, let's say 814 inches. Now hit enter, and let me send it a little bit upwards. Okay, so let me shift to duplicate it. Okay, so it's okay. You just use your arrow to add another one more. Now I'll select the first one. I want the fill to be, so let me see. Control. Okay, so I want the fill to be blue, but it has gone to the stroke, so let's just shift S. Okay, so I want to know the colors that I used for the shape. I think I used black for the top one, and then I'm sure I use green over here. Let me come here. I'm so sure I used red. Now let me double click inside to create my test. Now I want the first test to be the name. Let's make sure to be using paper. So name. And select. Let's align center. Let's come to Control B for test frame options. Then let's make sure to align it, the alignment over here. We align it center. Then hit OK. Now, so come here and then type in nationality. Okay. Now let's select all. Let's align center. Control B for shape frame options, test frame options, and then let's align center. Then hit OK. I want this to be, let me add some tracking of 40. I want it to be Medium Pro. Let's say semi bold. So let me use semi bold italic. And let me come here, and I want this to be positioned. So I select all. I want the color to be paper. Let me align center. And then I want the tracking to be 40. Now Control B for test frame options. And now align center. Now hit OK. Come over here. Control E. I want this one to be bold. Now add some tracking. 50 is okay. Now notice that we did everything in our master pages and not in the page which is our main page. Okay, so now let's go back to our main page, which is page 1, because most of the times you have to create a path for it, which the path you are creating a master page, and now you can do the other things in your main page. Okay, now we have come to now control the fitting. So let's go, before before we add the image, let's go and control the fitting. Okay, so let's go back to our master and then select this, right click, and then come to fitting, then frame fitting options, and then fitting, choose fit frame fill frame proportionally or fit content proportionally. So you can choose any of them. Now let's hit OK. And now with this, we can now go back to our main page page 1, and then now let's go to Windows. Then let's go to utilities and then data merge. Now let's send it somewhere. Now let's go to file. We want to create a directory path for our file, okay, where we want to place our file from. Okay, so that's what I'm coming to show you. So go to file, and then before, let me just create a text box over here, then go to file, place. I saved mine on the desktop. Okay, so depending on where you saved yours, that's where you have to go. And then, so I want to bring in this image, then hit replace, hit OK. Now I'll come to my layers panel and then come to links. So after coming to links, I'll just right click over here, and then I'll come to copy info. I'll come to copy platform style path. Then it won't be copied. You just have to come here, create a text frame. So T for shortcut, and then Control V. Okay, then you've now created your directory path. Now, so you can see that it has been pasted on your dashboard. Okay, so there's no need. So you just come here and delete it. Now let's go into a test file. So that's the reason why the one that I copied. So if I come here, Control V, you see that it has been pasted over here. So you do the same as where you saved your file, okay, where you saved the exercise file, and make sure to do this the way I did it, and you get your directory path. So when you paste the directory path, you have saved your images according to profile 1, profile 2, profile 3, image 1, image 2, image 3, or any name that you want to do it, or the same name as the names of these things, the players. Okay, now so you have it. Now so you are now coming to import the data. So make sure that after doing the setup, I've told you that name, comma, position, comma, everything for a new thing, a new name, a new text, use comma. For images, let at be there. Now cancel it, close it, because we don't want it to, when it is opened, it may cause a problem. So go to file. Now, so I told you that you go to Windows. Now you are in your main page and not in our master page. So go to Windows, and now utilities, data merge. Now let's import our data. Come and click here and select data source. So it will happen this way. So I have mine saved on my desktop, and then on my desktop, this is the folder saved on my desktop. It will be the same as yours, but yours is a little bit different because I made sure I created a different one where you add your directory path to it. Okay, so if you go into your exercise files, let me see. So the exercise files, this is first team, add yours, and then you have to add your directory path of your images. Okay, you have to add yours to it. That's what I've did for you. And click don't if show import options is checked, just uncheck it. Okay, then click on open. Now after doing that, it should be this way: name, position, nationality, and image. If anything like this doesn't happen, that means you did the wrong thing, and you have to go back and do it again. Now since I'm in my main page, this place is logged. Okay, so it's either I come to my pages, right click, and I'll do what? Override or master page items. So now it is called parent page. Now it is called parent page. If not, if I don't do override, then I have to shift control click and come to my data merge and do what? I'll either drag it like this, select and drag, and then paste it in it. Okay, or shift control, since I have to unlock it from the master page, click on it to unlock it, shift control, click on it to unlock this, shift control, click on it to unlock this. Now I'll come here, double click to select it, then I'll click on this. Okay, I'll come here, double click to select it, and I'll click on nationality. I'll also come here, double click to select it, and I'll click on position. Now after doing this, all I have to do is that I'll just hit preview, and now you can see that it has been done. We have players, so you see that Joel Ward is an English player and he's a defender, and then Tariq Mitchell. So anytime you just use these arrow keys over here, then the player will come: Jeffrey Shrub, Ghanaian midfielder. Okay, now after that, we don't want it to be this way. We want it to be in a let's say to be on their own, every player to have theirs. So come here, then come to create merge document, and then what you do is that come to multiple record layout. Okay, and then so let's see, first of all come here and then come to records per document page, then come here and then select multiple records. Okay, now come to multiple record layout, and now you can hit preview. So wait for it to preview. Okay, so we have all of them here. Now you can use this to control the margins between the players. Okay, so either for top, down, use this to control them, and then you can also control the spacing between the players. So spacing between the columns, you can use this to also control the spacing. It will be slow because as you do it, it will be previewing, and you can use this to also control the rows. So that's the way it will be doing. To be working a little bit slow, all you have to do is that just take time with it. Now here too, you can decide to arrange by either rows first or columns first. Okay, so with columns first, it will just turn it differently from the way you want it to be. So this, I wanted to start from the keeper to the coach. Okay, so then I want it to be arranged according to rules first. Now you also have some options here, which is the fit images. Okay, then you can also decide to change it according to the way you want, and also you can decide to use center in frame. So it depends on how you want yours to be and how everyone wants theirs to be. So when we are done, we'll just hit OK. So if any of it is not good for you, like for instance the coach image is not hasn't been fit up to the proportion that I want, so no overset text was generated when merging the records, meaning the text over here, none of them has an overset. Now with that, you can just close your data merge. Now if any of them did not fit well for you, you can just select it, then fit in fill frame proportionally. Okay, there we go. This is how to create data merge in Adobe InDesign. And then we can create these data merges in anywhere, including we can use it for, maybe we want it for MasterCard. We are doing our own projects that we want to create these things, we can use it, and it's very helpful as compared to InDesign. I love InDesign more than even Photoshop, but Photoshop is good for me when I'm making my what do you call the picture manipulations or photo manipulations, but InDesign is a very good tool. So now we've been able to create our data merge in InDesign without putting in much work. So thank you for joining this lesson on how to create data merging in InDesign. Note that you can use it for business cards for multiple people and many things, for advertisement, for many things. Thank you for joining this lesson. Bye bye.